Hi, everybody. Welcome to Exegetically Speaking, a podcast of the friends and faculty of Eveyln College, Eveyln, Illinois. And in our second season, we're doing something different. We're partnering with the Lanier Theological Library in Houston, Texas, to bring you these podcasts. My name is David Capes, and I'm the Senior Research Fellow at the Lanier Library, and our purpose in these podcasts is pretty simple. We want to promote the study of the biblical languages, Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, so we can read the Bible more faithfully, study it more fully, not just read it, but also to live it. Joining me today is Dr. Robert Plummer, who is the Collin and Eveyln Aikman Professor of Biblical Studies at Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. Dr. Plummer, welcome.
It's a joy to be here, David. Thank you.
You do a lot of interesting stuff, but one of the things that I want to talk about in this podcast is the daily dose of Greek. All right, for those who don't know it yet, I think they will after this podcast. For those who don't know it yet, what is a daily dose of Greek?
Yes, this is a screencast, a daily screencast, which is just a little video basically of my screen with the text, biblical text on it, and me talking over it for 2 minutes daily. And the purpose of it, I started it about 5 years ago, was to keep pastors and seminary students and Bible college students reading the Greek New Testament for the rest of their life. So this is a little daily accountability to try to keep them in the text, help them move forward in their knowledge of it. And you can sign up for it at dailydoseofgreek.com, or we have an app in the iOS or the Android phone, or Facebook feed, Instagram feed, Twitter. We have various ways that people can receive it, but the goal is just create that habit. We hope you go beyond 2 to 3 minutes a day, but to create that habit of being in the text. And over the last 5 years, we've gone through all of 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, Philemon, the Gospel of Mark, all of Revelation, and we're going through the Gospel of Mark, and we're going through the Gospel of John now. So we have over 2,000 videos posted, and all those archives are there. So someone can watch those as well. We have basic instructional videos there so if someone's never learned Greek before, they can start with the alphabet. And this has grown since we've begun it to have a daily dose of Hebrew as well, and a daily dose of Latin going through the Vulgate.
Oh, very nice.
2 Spanish versions where someone is doing the same thing in Spanish for Hebrew and in Spanish for Greek.
So are you doing the Hebrew and?
Oh, no.
I've
got
Vulgate?
A colleague. Mark Futato was the one at RTS, was the one who started us off on the daily dose of Hebrew and set a really solid foundation, providing his intro lectures, and he went through a lot of texts. He was really the main guy there for a couple of years, and then now Dr. Adam Howell, a younger scholar here at Boise College, is doing that, and we also have guest hosts regularly. So Tom Blanchard, a retired. He taught Hebrew in Switzerland. He's a retired missionary. He does many of the weekend features, and we try to bring in as many other people as we can just to
Isn't that fun to do that? Yeah. It's a lot of fun. So where did the idea come from, and how long did you say you'd been at this?
Yeah, I think it's been about 5 or 6 years now.
Okay.
And I'll be 50 next year. And I just kind of hit a place in my mid-40s where I'm like, what do I want to do for the rest of my life, and what am I needing to do that I'm not doing? And I love teaching Greek. I love seeing people fall in love with the text and go deep in reading it. But one of the problems, I'm sure you've encountered this as well, is students, you see this passion, and then they get in the pulpit, they get out in the local ministry, and the busyness of life sort of pulls them away, and a few years later they're like, wow, what happened?
What happened to my Greek, right? Yeah, what happened to my Greek?
So this is a way, it's like a little free personal trainer to try to help keep them in it.
Yeah. And in any given daily dose of Greek, do you try to do a verse or 2 verses, or does it all depend on?
Yeah, great question. I just do a verse a day. Unless it's a weekend feature. Sometimes on the Saturday features, we will focus in on a grammatical construction. They could be longer, or all kinds of stuff. We've had diagramming, something from the Septuagint, but the normal thing Monday through Friday is just one verse. I read it in Greek. I use Erasmian pronunciation. That's recently
that's what we learned, right?
Yeah, more has become, and I have people always, you can imagine, telling me, switch to modern, switch to reconstructed Koine. But I have to think about my audience. A lot of my audience is pastors who took Greek 5, 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes sense for me to use Erasmian because that's what most of them are accustomed to. And yeah, I'll read it, and then with my eye on the clock on the computer, I really try to keep it to 2 minutes, or at most 3, 2.5. And I'll try to point out a grammatical feature, parse 1 or 2 things. Maybe, I occasionally will make just theological points as well, but I try to just focus mainly on learning to read the text well. And because of that, we have a really wide audience. I get emails from Roman Catholic and people from all different theological spectrums who seem to appreciate it. So
very nice. Any idea what you said? Talk about your audience. Any idea how big that audience is? How many people are tuning in? I guess you have analytics on that.
Yeah, we do. We do have analytics. I mean, I don't have it right in front of me. Last year we had well over 1 million views of the videos.
Wow.
Total.
Wow.
And we were viewed in, it was like, I think according to Vimeo, it was 190 countries. Now, you wonder how is it, but
how is that possible?
Yeah, how is that possible?
Exactly.
But like some of the calculation is like European states, and then it'll have either broken down, so it'll count European states as one thing.
Yeah.
And that also counts. Like we're viewed in Saudi Arabia like 10 times at most, in the Vatican a handful of times, but the majority of our viewers are in
Pope Francis. He might have been listening in. Who knows? He's helping.
The majority of our viewers are in the United States, England, Australia, South Africa, Canada, English-speaking world. But we also have, it's been very gratifying to hear from people all over the world that it's been helpful to them.
Well, you got a lot more books to go through in the New Testament after you get through with John here.
Indeed.
Dr. Plummer, this is a dailydoseofgreek.com. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Dailydoseofgreek.com.
All right. If you need to kind of polish and get your Greek up a little bit, and you could do your Hebrew, not on that website. I guess that's another website altogether.
Dailydoseofhebrew.com, dailydoseoflatin.com.
I need to work on my Latin, so I think I'll start doing that. Anyway, Dr. Plummer, thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
Thanks as well to Silvio Vasquez, Rebecca Larson, and Krista Sanchez for helping us edit and produce the podcast. Thanks to Phil Keggy for our music. If you want to study biblical languages, then let me suggest Wheaton College. They have a great program, whether you want to be a graduate or an undergraduate student. Go to the website at wheaton.edu and look for modern and classical languages. Get started today. If you have questions or comments about this podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Contact us at exegetically.speaking@wheaton.edu.